After the Astros were humiliated by the Detroit Tigers in the AL Wildcard Series last October, they come back and take 2 out of 3 from them in a 3-game set at Daikin Park. With, lots of positives going on in this series overall, so we're going to talk all about them. This series win doesn't exactly help with what had happened against the Tigers last October. This still felt good to take 2 out of 3 from this Tigers team, who I have winning the AL Central from my predictions video I made a while ago. But regardless, let's talk about the series. First things first, let's dive right into an injury update. Lance McCullers Jr., he threw a bullpen this past Wednesday, and he will be returning to pitch in a Major League game for the first time since the 2022 World Series this upcoming Sunday when the Astros wrap up their 3-game set against the White Sox this weekend. So hopefully we'll see how that goes. But diving straight into the series itself, the Astros found themselves in a 3-0 hole after 4 innings. It started off with 2 home runs hit off of Ronel Blanco. The first one coming from Kerry Carpenter, the other coming from Riley Green, which would end up being one of 2 home runs he'd hit on the night. But the Astros got right back in the game with a home run by Christian Walker, and then a 2-run blast by Jose Altuve 2 innings later in the bottom of the 6th inning, which landed in an eerily similar spot that Christian Walker's did up on the train tracks. But then in the bottom of the 7th inning was when things came alive for the Astros offensively, was when they scored 4 times in that inning to take an 8-3 lead going into the 8th inning or so. And then Riley Green would make the game a little bit interesting with a 2-run home run that would make it 8-5 Astros. But that's all they would get, as the Astros would go on to win this game 8-5. Very solid win for the Astros. Ronel Blanco, despite the fact that he gave up those 3 runs, would keep us in the game all game long, and we eventually took the lead and went on to win it. Game 2 of this series was more of a sequel, I guess, except this time the Astros did not face as big of a deficit, but instead they were only down 2-0 after 5 innings. They would score 3 times in the bottom of the 6th inning, and then 3 more times in the 7th inning to take a 6-2 lead going into the 9th. But Josh Hader would unfortunately give up his first home run of the season in that 9th inning, with 2, I believe, Gleyber Torres to make it a 6-4 game, but he would eventually go on to finish the job to secure the win for the Astros and also the series win. But overall, of course, in the 7th inning was when the Astros came alive once again with a Yordan Alvarez bloop single to score Doobie. And then Isaac Paredes would then score Yordan easily from first base, and he would end up getting a RB triple out of that. And then Yonir Diaz would cap off the scoring with an RBI single, his 3rd RBI of the game, to make it 6-2 Astros going into the 9th. Like I had said, that's unfortunately was not what would be the final score in this game, with Gleyber Torres hitting a home run off of Josh Hader. But unfortunately, the Astros could not finish the sweep as they dropped the series finale 7-4. Javier Baez's grand slam that he hit off of AJ Blueball, a rookie, proved to be the difference maker in what was a 5 spot for the Tigers in the top of the 3rd inning. But there were still a couple of positives to be had in this game. The first being Jeremy Pena, who is batting leadoff over the course of this series, and he has been batting leadoff since the series finale in Kansas City, after Altuve apparently had convinced Joe Espada to move him down a spot from the leadoff spot. So Pena, as a result, has been batting leadoff instead. But he would get the scoring started early for the Astros with a Jose Altuve-esque home run, starting the scoring off early for the Astros with a leadoff home run, which would be the first of a 3-hit day for Jeremy Pena. So overall, not a bad day for him. But obviously, like I said, the 5 spot for the Tigers in the 3rd inning proved to be all the difference maker, as despite the Astros getting the tying run to the plate twice over the course of this game, they could not capitalize and only got 2 hits with men on base, or in scoring position for that matter. But I will still give the bullpen some flowers because they kept us in this game all afternoon. So, it was just the fact that the offense just couldn't get much done or chip away at that deficit. The Astros did chip away with 2 runs in the 5th and 1 in the 7th. But unfortunately, like I said, just could not complete the comeback. But overall, I'm not super upset about this. We already took 2 out of 3 in the series leading up to this game anyways. So not that big of a deal. Hopefully we can continue this momentum, because next up for the Astros, we will be hitting the skies to the south side of Chicago. I'm sensing a trap in this series, given the fact that the White Sox are coming in as with the second worst record in the league. I mean, I had said this, of course, when the White Sox came to Houston last year in August, and obviously they will be coming to Houston at some point this year as well. But the one weakness that we seem to have, and something that we absolutely cannot do this early on in the season, is playing down to the level of our competition. We've risen up to beat some of the better teams, like beating the New York Mets on opening day, beating the San Diego Padres not too long ago. We need to be handling business against, the better teams, not the better teams, but we need to handle business against scrub teams just like the White Sox. And I mean, honestly, taking 2 out of 3, I'll probably be okay with that. But anything less than that, I won't be satisfied with it. So, hopefully we can get something done. But obviously, we are getting into the bulk of our rotation with Framber Valdez and Hunter Brown likely lined up to pitch this weekend. We'll see, of course, what order they pitch in, I guess. And then, of course, Lance McCullers will be pitching at that series finale. So we'll see how that goes. If that game ends up being a loss for some reason because of Lance's rustiness, it wouldn't really surprise me, because it's only May, and he's still probably going to have plenty of starts this season to hopefully try and turn it around. Or, like say if he's on an innings limit or something like that. Like I said, we will see. But for now, guys, that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, drop a like, subscribe if you're new and want to watch any of my other videos, and click these cards here that are above my shoulders. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, like I said, and I'll see you guys in the next one.